Welcome, my friends. This is Maniacal Incorporated, and we are approaching the end of the 5th century, and I think we're also approaching the end of the life of Lenon Mac Gillifoilon, the man who joined our court on the conversion of our father to Insular Christianity. The main goal for today is going to be to try and get as much of the rest of Ireland into the Kingdom of Ireland as we can, and as peacefully as we can. And possibly we'll have to look at appointing a new court physician at some stage. But we're going to leave Lenon in that position for now, because I don't think we're going to have tremendous need. I hope we won't have tremendous need for a physician for a while. But one thing that we are in a position to do here is our cousin, High Chieftain Muirduk of Alloch. And I actually have the ability to demand his conversion, as he is a member of the same household. There's a fairly good chance that he will accept, and I think we could pretty much get him to accept vassalization if we're able to pull this off. So here is somebody that we are trying to impress. We're currently trying to befriend them. We tried to befriend them at the recent tournament held by Alil. That didn't succeed. We bought them a banner. They didn't like it. Perhaps I should commission a small poem comparing our deeds to illustrate that we are both cut from the same cloth. So we would gain some prestige. He would gain opinion, and the befriend scheme would gain progress or admired feats. So that would be monthly prestige for us, or prestige and scheme power. Do you know what? I will make sure everyone hears about my greatness. And here we have the acceptance by Muirduk. So his hatred towards us has decreased by 10. He desires some counties, but they are currently held by Alil. He is 54. I'm not too sure what age Alil is actually. Alil is 65. So it's entirely possible, if Alil dies and a couple of these counties end up splitting out from Connacht. They won't though, will they? This is going to make things complicated. The only thing that I could really do is give Alil Connacht and try and get Ulla to join as well. This is a kind of a confusing state of affairs. Damn you anyway, Alil. Everything was going fine until our half-brother lost Connacht. Now he just has Mayo. You fool. Now, I haven't been looking much at this because there isn't much of a reason to. We are in late antiquity, and we're currently researching chainmail. However, there are a couple of classical antiquity, and indeed Iron Age, innovations that we still actually haven't discovered, including cultural and regional raiding vessels. Unlocks the ability to raid overseas if you can already raid. Now, we actually pretty much should have that already. But if we look here, we'll say naval carpentry, 523 years. So chainmail is coming in at 43. And if we go down to raiding vessels, which is what we're going to go for, we could just research all the things at once, could we? Oh no, we can't. Raiding vessels, 25 years, so that's what we're going to go for. So that is going to bring us back to trying to increase the development of areas of the same culture. So Tara is up to, I don't know what it's actually at the moment. It's nothing great. The culture here isn't great. We're going to go for Athlone, maybe. How long is that going to take? 5 years. Tara itself is going to take 3 years. That might actually be the best at the moment. 7 months in Mayo. We've already seen Fergus dismiss one of the options to increase the befriend scheme against Crihan and instead take the prestige option. I think he's going to continue to do that. Now, I would like to hold a royal court. The problem is that the grandeur level is too low. So for now, we're going to work a small bit on getting that up. And we're going to go and increase our fashion to outmoded fashion. That will give him plus 2% extra prestige per month and a small bit of a court grandeur bonus. I think that's the only one that we're actually going to go for now. We could go for modest food, but stress doesn't seem to be all that high. We could go for personal scheme power. I think we're happy out as we are at the moment. The next thing I want to do is hold a hunt, but we're being told that we don't have a master of the hunt. Not necessary, but helpful, because of course Fergus served as master of the hunt for his father. And we have some excellent options here. Here is our cousin, steward and acclaimed knight, or the holder of an accolade. I think we'll go for Diarmid. And now we can go and hold the first hunt of Fergus's career. So we go for a hunt. Higher Pearl grants more prestige. Increases Venator, hunter trait. It increases falconry hunting. Costly though. Do you know what? We'll just go with a normal hunt for now. We won't get fancy. We won't get notions. Will we go to Sligo? We'll go to Sligo. Sure, why not? So that's going to take us. It's a nice lengthy journey. They're going to take us through Uisneach. And we have wetlands. We have lots of wetlands, so we'll keep that further in place. And I think everywhere else then is pretty much plains. So plains down around here. I don't think we need to hire anybody else for this. We have the search parties, and we have the party size. If we increase that, that's a hefty increase. And actually, we're not too far. It's going to be an expensive journey, but I think that's more to do with the distance. And we are going to set... Do you know what? I think we'd be happy to just befriend somebody, because we do gain benefits from befriending. We do need a chunk of friends. And here is Dungol, Mach Doi, and we're hoping to get the hunter trait for Dungol so he can succeed his father as the acclaimed knight, the champion of the serpent. So do you know what? We'll try and befriend him. And that should allow us to start the hunt. So I will be hosting a hunt in Sligo. We'll be heading to the north of the yurts of Galway that we found on the last episode, the last time we went on a tour over in this direction. Do you know, we should have gone to Slemish, considering that we haven't been up that way. It's true that there is nothing quite like a good old-fashioned hunt. I can't wait. So we've either been very lucky or very unlucky, but we haven't had a major amount of events. We haven't had any events on the road. We have 4 friends at the moment, and I believe from the lifestyle choice that we have, we benefit from having 5. So I'm trying to befriend somebody through this scheme, and we're trying to befriend somebody here. So that will guarantee us the 5 to get the maximum trait benefits. Benefits from our friends. So Dungol remains totally unaware of my plan to befriend him soon. So I think Marcellus is teaching my daughter. He's indeed, and has managed to teach her Latin. I'm actually bringing up another one of my daughters who is going down the... I think it's actually the stewardship path, and Fergus's stewardship is quite high. Once I finalise the Majesty Focus lifestyle that we're going down at the moment, I might actually, when we're going down Patriarch, I might swap to Stewardship to try and improve the development of some of our counties and try and get naval raiding. Oh, if we could hit the south of England, oh boys, the money. Diarmid, our master of the hunt, summons the party to gather. As the light reaches the camp in the wetlands near Sligo, the local gamekeepers have scoured the vicinity for recent tracks and fumes. A stout buck is definitely in the area, no doubt, and the conditions could hardly be better for hunting it, so we could say let's get out there. Middling pearl, prestige is mediocre, I want to hunt something with vim. Ah, come on. A buck. A buck has vim. We'll corner a tricksy hare instead. Pearl is harmless, prestige is trivial. Off after the buck. Uh-oh. Okay, well, that's not too bad. Do you know what? I was actually going to forgive him anyway. So, this dude committed some crime. I can't remember. I wasn't listening, and we had an option to forgive him. But he is now pushing a weak hook against us that we gave him at one stage. I think when we demanded, not when we demanded his conversion, when we demanded that he stop trying to beat up our 5-year-old brother. So, he has now... Fantastic. It's a good thing that I didn't pardon him myself. Yeah, oh, absolutely. As you demand, Ned Freok, as you demand. You're the boss. My champion, Diarmid, is the first to spot its branching antlers. The flighty buck is hard to distinguish, but there's no doubt it's there observing us through the dancing reeds. Oh no! We're not hunting the buck is hunting us. It locks eyes with me, and almost as though the animal senses my intent, takes off. In a flash of spotted fur, after it, we ride. And because we're patient... Lad, now is not the time for patience. You don't patiently chase a buck. So we could attempt to corner the stag with a spear. This method is more perilous. This way, we'll head it off. We will attempt to ambush the stag with a bow. Sure. Look at all the bows we have. Nobody has a spear. Like all game, the slippery stag has many tricks. Blenches and ruses that can fool even experienced hunters. My champion, Diarmid, has halted the party. The buck has been standing perfectly still in the dancing reeds, suspiciously still. So we have a 41% chance to increase greatly. Another 41 that it increases, only 16 that it decreases. And that's because we have the hunter trait. And pretty much the exact same thing here. So do you know what we'll go with? But Fergus would actually gain some opinion. I'd say Fergus's opinion is fairly solid. We'll go with this one. So we got a good old increase. Our plans were for naught. The beast sensed our trap by wind or connivance and refused to be led into the ambush. Well, damn you all to hell. Clever girl. So, blah, Balgash, insults Lued, Macgillifuelon. Lads, is any one of you idiots actually trying to catch this stag, or are you just arguing like idiots in the background? Hunts like these are a pure joy. No, they're not. Everyone's fighting. I cannot wait for next year. I am no closer to gaining the confidence of Thungol. We are a bit. I must have done something wrong. The master of the hunt, Diarmid, gathers the disappointed party and exhausted hounds. Hunts like this are a joy. Gathers the disappointed party. And off home. So we leave Sligo with nothing. Not even a friend to our name. Let's leave this adventure behind for now. So we get traits in a number of different things. Chunk of prestige. Spent time with Thungol. We should have asked the Pope. The champion of the serpent gained 8 glory. Fair play to him. And every guest gained 93 prestige. Let's see the guest list. A second. So there is Doi, the acclaimed knight. Where's his son? So that's who we were trying to befriend, but we're also trying to get him the hunter trait, the way that he might be able to succeed his father. So Venator is hunting lads with antlers, and then Falconer is a different thing. Well, there you go. Hunts like these are pure joy. I lost 20 stress, gained the hunter trait. 11 trait experience, 1 trait with horse, so that's our Hastelauder skill. So foot, bow, not much with the bow, not much with the horse. Finish the hunt. We didn't even manage to catch a friend. We caught nothing. Probably caught a cold. We did catch these lads, though. We are at danger of a soggy bottom. I know we must thread carefully through the bogs of Mayo. Oh, God help us. The eerie place, Mayo is an eerie place, unsettles me to my core, and there are a myriad of dangers to guard against. My entourage has been instructed to take every precaution accordingly. Looking back from the head of the column, I take count of my companions. One of us is missing. Oh God, no, Mayo has claimed a victim. I could send my caravan master, Lued, to find the straggler. 39% chance that Lenon returns to the entourage. 60% chance that Lenon Macgillifuelon dies. Not like this, not like this. They're as good as dead. We need to get out of here. We need to get out or Mayo will claim a second victim. I don't want to let Lenon die in Mayo, because we're never getting his body back. We'll see. It's a 39-40% chance. I can't imagine we'll succeed. Lenon, not like this. Not like this. At long last, I am finally home. There is nothing better than arriving back in Tara after barely escaping Mayo. I look forward to resting for some time, but the call of the road beckons ever onward. So we've been away for 110 days and traversed 9 baronies. So it's entirely possible, I was just thinking there, it's entirely possible that Lenon was led astray in Mayo. That's the official cause of death. That's what it's going to say on the death certificate. Led astray. And being led astray, nowadays it means, you know, to be led astray, to be taken off course. So somebody tells you something, but they're only kind of leading you astray. But it did have a very specific connotation once upon a time, being led astray by the fairies. And that is where, I know there's actually somebody from the west of Ireland. I'll see if I can find the video and put it up. He's a kind of a folklorist, but he talked about a time when he was led astray by the fairies. And what he used to do was he would carry stones in his pocket. And if he ever thought that he was being led astray and he came to a road, he would take out the stones and he would throw them at the road to see if they would make the plopping sound of water. Because what the fairies would do is they'd put a stray on you, and you would think that the road was a river, so you'd be trying to jump over it, and you would think that the river was a road, the way they'd lead you astray into it, and you drowned. So that's what happened to Lenon. He was led astray by the fairies in Mayo. The devils. Damn them all. We will raise what we have of an army and see if we can. Oh, well, look. These lads are doing something now as well. We'll see. We'll rush in and see who can hit them first. Can anyone hit them first? So Doi was actually wounded, the champion of the serpent. Befriend the dance. So Crihin bonded at the dance in Tara after learning that Crihin would be attending the dance in the castle town of Limnoch. I decided that it would be the perfect occasion to pass by to ensure I get some time face to face with him. What a good day. So that ends our scheme, and we have a new friend. We got 1 loot and 1 prestige. Nice. So Doi, the poor man, has gotten himself wounded, and his son, oh, he's actually over here, Dungol is now indeed a hunter. He does not, however, serve as a knight at the moment, and we do have another champion who is a 34 prowess, so I'm actually going to appoint him as the successor for now, because it's entirely possible that Doi could be on the way out. His health is fine, but he is wounded. There's no accolade history at all now. He's making progress towards level 2, fair play to him. And here is the results of the battle. There he is, he got 4 kills. And way up at the top is A, who we've just appointed as the potential successor for the title. And just as we were talking about the poor man, Lenon, we will appoint a new court physician. And you know what? We have some good characters here. 21 learning. Average, poor. Our son, Diarmid. And he is deceitful, he is sadistic, he is wrathful. Oh boys, this is going to be some high king when he comes to power. So I am hoping to get his learning up. So do you know what? We'll appoint him. Here we have King Fergus, 39 years of age. Here we have his 5 children. And here we have his 5 friends. And they are giving him boosts to his learning. So, friendly counsel, sound foundations, giving him +5 there in total. From the lifestyle legacy that we have taken. We're up to 19 in stewardship. From a base of 10. And really, okay, base of 10, +3 from diligent. So then we're getting another 6 from friendly counsel and from our wife. We have as many friends as we need. However, we are going to begin a scheme to befriend, not this fool. We could befriend this fool, but he is in poor health. And here is his son and heir. So I'm going to begin a scheme to befriend him. I think there's a better chance that we might get him into the kingdom at some stage. And if we take a look at Crihan, so it's -10 to acceptance. We are of a different faith. A military strength could go to a max of 20, and powerful vassal opinion +8 to a max of 20. So if we were to actually increase our opinion with this lad, we might actually be able to get him on board. Interesting. I've switched our steward to trying to develop the development in Ulster, and we're still trying to actually convert Evonia as well. We have just been told that the grandeur at court is at level 1, and we will use that as an opportunity to hold court. The man who approaches my throne is clearly a commoner. My lord, he begins his speech, I represent the local community of Tara. Uh-oh. Cemeteries are being plagued with disappearances of bodies. It's my son, Diarmid. So, studying the human body is a sad necessity. We would gain 48 stress because we're zealous. We could tell Diarmid to cut it off. Would Diarmid gain anything from this? He would gain 50 learning lifestyle experience. And a 15% chance that he would gain novice physician. I would feel bad from discouraging my son in his medical studies. Studying the human body is a sad necessity. Selvla, something along those lines, has travelled to ask our aid in righting a great injustice. My brother, Dunadach, currently sits on the throne of the Outer Hebrides, but I am the true and rightful ruler of those lands. If you aid me in pressing my claim, I shall swear fealty to you and serve you loyally until the end of my days. Ah, she's married already. So here is Flartoch mach Phelemi mach Alexander. An opportunity to bring the Outer Hebrides into our control. Here is her brother with his fairly small army. He can get together about 2,000, which would be challenging us. It is a beautiful day for war. She will join the court, starts a war against Dunadach, and Eamir Mach Alexander loses 15 opinion. Who is Eamir Mach Alexander? The mother of Dunadach. Is it the same Alexander family? I don't know. Do you know what? We won't ask questions. It's a mighty day for war. Archbishop Scandal steps forward solemnly. He does that a lot. My lord, Argyle is a vital centre of insular pilgrimage and worship. It's the centre. His Holiness, Patriarch Nicholas, argues that such a holy place should be wholly administered by clergy rather than laymen. High Chieftain Alil must relinquish his property into Abbot Falva's care for the good of the faith and the glory of God. So we would gain piety. We will become the owner of the skull of St. John the Evangelist. We can put it next to St. Kieran's femur. I mean, come on, if they're going to give us a skull for our skull collection, absolutely. Argylle should be in the hands of the priors. So my business is done. I have a war to prepare for. Diarmid, stop digging up bodies. Diarmid, keep digging up bodies. I need you to keep learning things. And you know what? I was actually about to leave the court by putting, before putting the skull of St. John the Evangelist on display. So we gain piety and a court grandeur bonus. So we'll put that there in a little box. Diarmid, don't you even think of stealing that box. We have a bit of a march. If we want to reach the Outer Hebrides, we're going to have to raise our armies and possibly even call in some allies. Here is our potential future vassal, Saelvla. And if they wish that we install them in the Outer Hebrides, well, then they will have to convert. Now, at the moment, they are refusing to convert to Insular Christianity. However, we can insist that if they are to have our support to be installed on the throne, the small chair of the Outer Hebrides, then they must serve God and whoever we've just installed in Oriel. I was hoping that this would maybe make Oriel independent. I think it's just probably messed up things in this area even more than necessary. Here is the new ruler of Argylle, Falva. I'm not too sure what the chain of succession here is. It's Confederate Partition, but I presume some type of an election will actually be held when Falva dies. I presume it's going to remain as effectively a bishopric, even though it's saying it's a more mayordom, so I'm not too sure. Not too sure what's going on here, but you know what? He's happy out for a while, and it's weakened this lad as well. Now, the kind of awkward thing is that I was actually planning on getting the army together and going on a raid, because we are a bit low on money at the moment. And it's telling us that it's actually faster to sail up. That is pricey, though. That is pricey, so I don't know if we want to do that. We haven't learned sea raiding yet, so we're going to have to march and take the long way. There is a scheme at court. My spy master has come to me with grave news. Somebody is plotting against the champion of the serpent, the Devils. So we're beginning to see people... You know what? That's made the whole thing a lot less... a lot shorter now. Thanks for that. That's actually handy. I'll never click this one first. I will always... I have hundreds of hours in this game and I always click the wrong one. And I always will, and you can't stop me. Oh boys, things have actually just gotten a whole lot closer again. So the entire Hebrides are now at war with us. What do we want to do? Do we want to... Well, we're heading across in this way. Do we want to actually try and hit their armies first of all? Or do we want to siege down some areas? I think we might siege down an area. And we are being told by our friend, our bestest best friend, that his troops would be of use to us. Do you know what? They would indeed. We would have to pay him 85 gold, though, if his contribution is at least 681 when the war ends. Okay, this makes a bit more sense to me now than the last time this popped up. I don't want to risk him actually contributing because I don't have that type of money. I think we can hold this on our own, and we do have a hefty alliance that we could call in, so I'm going to decline, but thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Well, look at this for devilment. Ned Freok. Ned Freok has wasted his get-out-of-jail-free card. Ned Freok might be in a bit of trouble. Ned Freok, you might be in a bit of trouble. Just looking through our list of commanders here, nothing great to look at. Oh, this guy's useless. Who's that? Oh, that's me. We do have this dude that we could hire for probably a good chunk of money, 21. But thankfully, we actually already have another military engineer, Heracles. I'm going to call him Heracles. And you know what? Fair play to him. He is making a bit of an effort with that siege. We have a word of advice. It's not the first time I have heard talk of what a great servant Fronon is, and how Cruhin has sent him to my court. He presents himself as a token of friendship between Cruhin and myself. Welcome to my service. Or, well, we'd better take him so then. 22, that is interesting. Because we could do with a good spy master. I think 14 is as high as we have at the moment. Alil would make a very good spy master. Alil will never be spy master. So, thanks. Welcome. Now, probably our biggest problem is that we are losing a chunk of forces in this siege, which isn't even for the area that we're actually trying to take. We just basically dumped ourselves in the first place that we got to. Oh no. Oh no. You will regret giving in to your desires, Doi. And all of that happened because of a plot to kill Doi. So we went looking for secrets, and I'm sure he was like, no, look, it's fine. If somebody wants to kill me, no, it's grand. Don't go looking for secrets. I have changed out the commander, and we'll at least begin the process of moving northwards and see if we might have to offer battle. The trappings of majesty, I stand above my subjects as a sovereign ruler unequalled in the realm, dressing the part with resplendent garments and jewelry. Should serve as a subtle reminder to everyone that I'm cool. So God's servants do not need finery, 250 piety. 81% chance that we gain a diplomacy lifestyle experience of 100. Absolutely. And I think that is actually enough to get us the Patriarch trait. Now, I did say that I would most likely go down the stewardship route next. However, the main idea behind that was to increase development growth, and I think I could do that more effectively by going down the scholarship focus. And it's not an area I focused on very much in my playthroughs, but I'm actually going to go down the scholar tree. There's only a couple of them that actually give us benefits for development growth, including if we actually manage to finish off the chain. And it's not sanctioned loopholes. This is another one, learn on the job. 20% of counselors' primary skills are added to our own, so I think that would actually mix very well with the increases to our traits that we've gotten from the Patriarch tree. So this is our problem. We are marching in against an army which we have 500 troops more than. However, they are defending in the hills, and they are defending a straight crossing. So we do have a few problems there. Is there anywhere around we could get? No. So I think what we're going to have to do is probably fall back on the inner Hebrides and use this opportunity to call in as a member of our household. So we'd be using prestige. Will not accept because his opinion is so low. Well, the devil, and I don't believe that we have any hooks that we could use against him. Do you think, is it too late to ring Crihin? Is it too late to ring Crihin, do you think? So his father won't join us in a war. We're probably talking about how much we hate his father. A promise of dedication would send a strong message about my good intentions towards Mercarthuk. Anyone appreciates a powerful favor. Are we going giving him a weak hook? Is that what you want to do? Gets a weak hook. It is better to avoid such things, so it will lose progress. That's fine. Now, one of the reasons why I was so happy not to call anyone in is because we have a huge alliance. Our son Diarmid is married to the daughter of... Oh. So he's died of heart failure. And let's see what way his realm is now. Has the whole thing split apart? Well, I think we're actually... Diarmid is going to be the brother-in-law of both of these. Do you know what? That's not too bad. 2,500. He's grand out. So there is our daughter-in-law. So spouse is Diarmid. And here is... So he doesn't have very many troops. I have a feeling that we're not going to get a negotiate alliance. No. Well, this might be problematic. So there is another dance at Dunanaul this time. And we have befriended Mercarthuk. Now all we have to do is wait for his father to die. A raptor retailer. Heracles, an avid hunter, who is currently commanding the siege and should be focusing on other important things, has brought me a man. Oh, who sells trained hunting raptors. These are the finest of birds. I raised them from Iases myself. I don't know. I don't even know what birds look like. All we have is cows in Ireland. So we'll pay 15 gold and gain a hunting raptor. Oh boys, we get 1 prestige a month from having a clever girl. At last, Manon or Manon. Someone to run my muse. So he'll join our court. Do we get the raptor? Do we get the dinosaur? No. Or else we can tell him to go away. 15 quid for a dinosaur. That's not bad. And that will vassal opinion and court grandeur bonus. Oh, he owns a falcon or hawk. Oh, I thought it was a dinosaur. This here is a fine specimen. It is the 3rd of May, 501, and what a turn of events this is. We have managed to siege down the inner Hebrides. We are losing war score because the enemy continues to hold the outer Hebrides. And in a desperate bid to find somebody who can negate the advantages of the enemy holdings, look who finds himself in command of the armies of the Kingdom of Ireland, Alil. Because Alil can cross rivers and straits without advantage penalties. And so we're going to see if we can send Alil up to deal with the forces here. We outnumber them. It is looking a bit better. We did have a minus over this the last time. We have a better army commander and more soldiers. They're still defending at a straight crossing, but I think that should be negated. And they're defending in the hills. That's the only major, well, I won't say it's the only major problem. Our son has managed to learn Latin. Just as Alil, one of the great enemies of the kingdom. I won't say the great enemy, but he's been a divil. All the ruction that he's been causing. I think they've lost about 300 forces so far, and we've lost about 300 forces so far. So this could just be an even battle that might be decided by the couple of hundred forces extra that we have. And we have managed to drive them out. And you know what? We've given out to this man for a very long time, but we will have to respect him and thank him for what he has just done. The absolute bastard. Look at this. Look at this. Where is he? 8 years of age, and he's raiding us. The absolute devil. We haven't suffered any raids from Leinster in a lengthy time. I thought we were at peace with them, but they are taking this opportunity that has arisen with our protracted siege in Scotland to raid Tara. There's going to be some damage done there. There's going to be some bad damage done there. I wonder whatever happened. Actually, there's something we never really thought about. Where's my stepmother? So here is... She's hanging around somewhere, the poor woman. They let her go and she's gone to Mayo. So she was captured by Leinster and yeah, our father never ransomed her back. Well, look at that. She got out. She's happy out. She's grand. Oh, there we go. There we go. So 2 courtiers were killed. And we have a number captured. Nonid, who I think I recruited from a prison cell. We captured him in a raid a while back, and I recruited him fairly good stewardship. And somebody is currently attempting to murder his wife, so he's not having a good day. And if we look at who has just been killed, it's 4 Anon's wife and the wife of our Master of the Hunt and Champion, Diarmid. So the 2 of them have been killed in the siege. Leinster is going to be getting a visit from us soon. So our daughter, Poitlin, comes of age. Developed a basic understanding of the subject. An affinity for war and combat. They grow up so fast. And we have been told that somebody has completed the conversion of a county in Evonia. We're also being told that Evonia is under siege by Ardgol, Mac Conal Crihna. That name sounds familiar. So what the hell is going on over there? There is our brother's forces. I don't know what the hell is he doing. He's gone to war against Alil. That's probably not a great idea. That's probably not a great idea. So Leinster, I believe, has decided to declare war on us. After all that activity, Leinster has declared war on the Kingdom of Ireland. It is a clash of the ash. So something to do with the struggle phase. We will rally the troops. We almost have this area sieged down. We are seeing the Outer Hebrides returning with their forces. If I thought that they were going to hit us, I would switch our commander. We've managed to take this area. We have managed to inflict or to seize a number of prisoners. We're going to have to bring this war to an end immediately and enforce our demands. And so we now have the Outer Hebrides as part of the Kingdom of Ireland. And we're going to have to change our commander and begin the march. I hope that we would march. I don't think we even have the money for to go by sea. We could actually head down. No, we'll march, and once we hit Ulster, we'll start basically replenishing, raising forces on the way down to Leinster. We have the option to bend the swords of our enemies. But you know what? I want to hold off on that because we won't be able to use it for 10 years. I want to hold off on that and instead use it against Leinster. It would give us some prestige and fame. And our enemies would gain minus monthly prestige, advantage in levy size. And you know what? I think that is going to be handy. I think that is going to be handy to use against these devils down here, marching back towards Tara. We're in a bizarre owl situation over here. Because our brother is Alil's vassal, I can't demand that our brother ends the war. And I can only demand that Alil surrenders. We could demand Alil's conversion. Not much of a chance of him accepting. And as for our brother, we could also demand his conversion, because at some point in time, he has returned to the pagan heresy. The devil. And the other thing of note is that Muerduk has died. So if we look up here now, he's not our bestest best friend in the whole world, but he doesn't hate us as much as his father did. What are we seeing here? Now this is problematic. Powys has decided that it is going to subjugate Ireland. Well, we already have the troops rallied, and we have Tara under siege, and on the verge of falling to Leinster Raiders, and what a time to be without that 3K alliance. We're going to have to do something about this. Now, the first thing we can do is call poor old High Chieftain Murcharthach. It's his first day on the job, and he is being called into the war against Powys. We will call House Member to War. This is, for the time period, technically correct and also very weird. We have the ability to call a member of our dynasty to war, and it is a member of House David. I've dealt with this in the past, but I cannot for the life of me remember. It's basically one of Concaill Cahach's brothers is the ancestor of a number of families in Wales. Well, there he is, CK3. So we should see that there is his... Well, there's Felimi Rockmar. And there is Con. And there is Fiachra. So there's Concaill Cahach, if I am correct. So we're looking at a date of death in 201. That's maybe a bit later than we would expect. But Felimi Rockmar is the son of Tuathail Teachmar. I suppose that's kind of correct. So then, yeah, Tuathail was supposed to have been restored by the Romans around the year 80, or was at the court of Agricola. Anyway, that's a bit mad. We'll see if we can go back to that page. And sure, do you know what? He's got 927 troops, so let's call him in. Let's see if we can call him to war against Powys. I did not expect that he would accept. It's going to cost us renown and whatnot, but sure, do you know what? You might be able to do some damage against them. Now, it breaks my heart a little. Here is our eldest daughter, has just turned 16, has solid martial, has the beautiful trait, and I would like to see her potentially becoming a ruler someday. So there are a couple of figures who have higher military strength than this, but we will marry her to the ruler of Gari. Send that proposal. So here is the chieftain of David. There you go. That at least is maybe going to put a bit of pressure on them, hopefully. So that's excellent. Thank you very much for that. And here is our distant cousin, the poor man. And we have an alliance formed with Gari. We will immediately see if we can call them to war against Powys. A poor Selva in Scotland, her husband, I don't think he even lived to see his wife take the throne. He was killed in 501. I think he might have been killed in one of the battles. I'm not too sure. I didn't see anything pop up about the battles that we waged. Now, she demands a position on the council. We could potentially give her Spymaster if we can get that support up a level. However, we could also see an opportunity of putting a member of the Enail on the throne here if she will accept getting married. So, again, Fergus constantly thinking about alliances and diplomacy as the kingdom collapses around him in war. Now, we do have options of getting more forces together. We are slightly outnumbering POWs and their ally. And this region, who has just actually entered the war as well. We do have an ability to get some more forces, but we're going to deal with... hopefully we're going to deal with Leinster first of all. Oh dear, are we seeing something rather problematic and rather interesting all at the same time? First of all, the heirs of Castlebar, my son and heir Diarmid, known for his interest in venery, brings rumour of beasts spotted. Diarmid, not now! Diarmid, could you not even, like, at the very least congratulate me on getting married? Diarmid. We'll gain stress because we're a hunter. So the entire kingdom is collapsing and we're like, do you know what? This is actually really interesting. Thank you, Diarmid. Interesting. 3,700 troops are landing. We've a chunk here. Do we want to try to hit them? Apparently not. Opponent is recently disembarked. More men-at-arms, more commander traits, more soldiers. We will lose decisively. So we are in a bit of a problematic scenario. We do actually need to get all the forces together, which we don't have at the moment. They have gone in against somebody. I think we're going to hopefully... Oh, I forgot. This is what always happens. They head for the hills. So they are heading... They're heading somewhere. And there's actually some forces considering going up and joining them, I think. They're probably actually going to head all the ways for Scotland. You know what? Let them. We could chase this devil down into Leinster and take all his lands, which we're going to do at some stage. But for now, I need to concentrate on one enemy at a time. We will offer a white peace, which I believe will be accepted. Greetings, King Fergus of Ireland. You'd better not forget that part. We have some prisoners that we captured there that we are ransoming out. I have no idea what's going on over here. Athlone is trying to siege down Ulster. Is everyone going to war with Allel? So here's Athlone. I swear to God, I'm going to punch so many members of my family after this ends. I was just about to say, I actually have no idea where their forces are at the moment. But we have found them. They have better army commanders, more defensive... We have more defensive buildings and more men-at-arms counter. They have more commander traits. So they would be on 4,000. Just under or over 4,000. I'm not too sure where my actual army has gone to. So for now, we're actually going to sit here and just look across the Irish Sea. Watch them take a bit of attrition. They have just under 4,000 troops. We have maybe... What are we talking about there? 4,600. If they move up, I would let them siege that area and probably try and go across and retake that one. And just kind of kite them a bit. Well, well, well. Look who it is. The ruler of Inverness offering us 697. Absolutely. So he might be in a bad position. He's trying to kite his forces down past them. He manages to do so. We're going to start sieging around here. And if they actually... well, I don't think we'll be getting that gold from him. Or that he'll be getting that gold from us. And they are about to come in against us. We're being told that it is a definite loss, and it will be unless our allies here come in. And I have no idea what they're doing. They're coming in too late. We might be able to push this. Nope. Devils. Today, Scandal held a fiery sermon for all the children. We grow closer to forming a relationship with Dunla. So that would be our daughter. Sure. Faith will serve you well. It's not serving me well at the moment. Leinster has been a constant thorn in our side. But here is an opportunity, possibly, to gain an ally and to mitigate the chances of further trouble from Leinster. We're going to organise a marriage between our daughter Scahach and the ruler of Leinster, and hopefully he will bring his 1,400 troops into combat in defence of the Kingdom of Ireland. And this would have maybe been a more suitable marriage for our eldest daughter. I don't believe the option was available at the time, and this guy isn't exactly in line to inherit anything. The 17-year-old son of the ruler of Kirchen with a substantial force. We will send that proposal. And that was a substantial defeat there at Galloway, which wouldn't have been so bad if our allies had gotten in. At the same time, they did manage to bring 5,900 forces to bear, though, so that was rather problematic. 2,100 dead on our side. A with 71 kills. And Doi, I think, had around 25, so he's down there a good bit, the poor man. Right, let's see what we can do. Maybe he's realised just how close Leinster was to being in a rather difficult predicament. I'll have to figure out now how to actually pronounce his name. I don't think it's Cahir. I'll verify that at some stage, but realising how close he came, and maybe even the Regency, realising how close they came to bringing down the full might of Ireland onto Leinster, they have accepted that marriage and will join us in defending Ireland. Leinster has agreed to join. Our dynasty members are falling back on their holdings. Do you know what? If you'd go up there and start sieging that, it would be much more beneficial to us. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get to Tara and actually bring all the forces south, because I am trying to regroup there a small bit. We are being chased down, and here, our daughter's father-in-law will hopefully come in with his 2,000 forces. Oh, he's put on a fancy hat. That man's going to war. With the kingdom being ripped to shreds by war, apparently we're trying to buy a fancy book. We could buy it for 50 quid outright, or have a 45% chance that we can negotiate a better price. Instead of taking the stress, which will drive us over the edge, we'll try and negotiate a better price. And we failed. We have managed to get Bibliomancy, Cuchulain's Sacred Stories, gain monthly piety, prestige, monthly learning lifestyle experience. The temptation is overwhelming to open it to a random spot and read the first faithful verse my eyes might fall upon. Yeah, we'll do that. And I don't want to take any stress, so we're going to say that this requires further research. There's an 11% chance that we will become tense. Fear may well be the mind killer, but I have faced my fear. My fear is Wales, not a book. And with all that, we've actually managed to unlock 2 learning lifestyle focuses very quickly. Wards will gain additional skills and can become your friends. Learn language success chance goes up. Cultural fascination progress up by 20 because we are fascinated with raiding. And increased development in county efficiency by 20%. What a great and glorious hosting of the Irish nation this is, insofar as there is such a thing as the Irish nation. No longer coloured red as enemies, the forces of Leinster march towards Tara for the first time, not to raid but to join up with the army of the High King. We see the army of Alach marching southwards, perilously close to the forces of Powys, and we see a raiding army coming in behind them, and we know, we can just see there in the top right, the army of Kirken marching down as well. They're probably going to try and enter through the middle of Ulster. I think they can come across without engaging anyone. I hope they can. Or at the very least they might go south and start raiding some territories over in that region. The forces on the island of Ireland are not at the moment strong enough to take on the forces of Powys, so we're going to have to do something here. And of course we have our other allies in Wales as well. This battle is not going to be short. It's not going to be over soon. And so Ireland stands at a tremendous point in its history. The unity of the Irish peoples in rejecting the potential subjugation that Powys would inflict. But also, we are still in a bit of danger. If we get picked apart, then Kirken might not even be able to save us. Thank you all very much for joining me on this episode. It's gone on a bit longer than planned, with Leinster's raids, then Leinster's war, and then Powys War. This was going to be a diplomatic playthrough, and I think we've engaged in more war. More men have died under Diarmaid's, or under Fergus's kingship, and under Diarmaid's rule, because I think Diarmaid is one of our commanders, then died under his father Conall. But thank you all very much for joining me on this episode, and I hope that you will join me on the next one with a spear, with a sword, with anything, because I will be throwing you against the forces of Powys to save my own skin.